Friends, it's good to see you. Today's topic is the activated dreamer, or the mystic, or the co-creator, however you'd like to lean into that. But before we start with dreaming big, because that's what Spirit's challenging all of us to do now, if we have that frequency within us, I wanted to speak to you about two types of people, two groups of people actually, that disagree with you. And these types of people often hold us back from dreaming big or speaking our truth. And I'm not going to lie, I've been grappling with this fear as well. But just by design, there's always going to be a group of people that disagree with you. That's just how it works. This group of people are on a different frequency. They cannot hear you. And this is where the analogy would be, don't give pearls to pigs. You're just speaking different things. They cannot grasp what you're pulling in. And so dreamers, I want you to just acknowledge that and not feed it. But there's a second type of people that disagree. Those people are the people that talk a lot of shit. They're the people that will land in your comments bar when you're speaking about mysteries or speaking about creating big dreams, or you're starting something new. These are the people that jump into your comments section. Some of them are even in your families that talk shit. And I want you to just not feed the shit, but realize that shit makes trees grow. Shit makes dreams grow. If you're getting a little bit of resistance, know that you might be on track. That's how I see it anyway. So these types of people, if you instead of buying into the shit, and instead of having to answer back, we get this fire in our belly and we just want to show them that we're right and they're wrong. That too is ego, and so we're matching the frequency. If you just ignore it, it goes away. Think about the level of consciousness it takes. And you've been there, I know you have, I've been there too. Think about the level of consciousness it takes to just seek out things to talk shit about all day long. How negative must they be? How low vibrational must they be? They're genuinely not happy and fulfilled with anything that they're doing, and so they've got to shit on your dreams. So I want you to just think about letting go of the struggle of having to have these lower vibrational people. My voice is changing. Wow. Or my voice? What are you saying, Helium 369? The voice or the collective voice? Probably, but let go of the struggle of trying to prove the haters right, of those that disagree. You have to have a disagreement in order to know that you're on track. The mystical ways will never be revealed to everybody. There's a select few that have been called to awaken consciousness in order to hold it for the collective. Thank you for honoring my voice changing. I feel my throat chakra is definitely clearing of late. And I'm doing my affirmations over me. I am dreaming big, and I'm encouraging you to dream big as well. Don't worry about people disagreeing with you. Run ahead, change things. Do things big. Now, I looked up the word dreamer. Etymology is amazing. Dreamer actually means to sing. Do you know what a sound healer feels like when she realizes that dreaming's linked in with frequencies, with singing, with activating with the gamma brainwave state? So to dream means to sing, to make music, to rejoice, to praise. It is affiliated with the essence of joy. And haters can't hold joy. They're miserable. And so therefore they're co-creating chaos. Do not let the negativity rain on your joyful parade. As you're dreaming, expand into the ability of co-creating as you were called to do in the spirit. It is called the universe after all. One song. We're in sync with a higher dimension. We're in sync with joy. The sensations felt when entirely awake. Nobody can steal from you, actually. You realize that everything lower density was the lesson. you realize that you are embellishing, growing upward, you're expanding your state of consciousness, and as you think, you attract things. We're embracing the visceral quality of being alive, and joy is the oil to the vessel. They feed themselves by destroying others' dreams. Yeah, so true, Helium 369. So I want you to rise above it. Now in Greek, it's called oneros in Greek, and it means hypnos or sleep. Were our Australian Indigenous accurate when they're saying that we are living in dream time? I'm absolutely 100% convinced that as we meditate, as we access different brainwave states. This morning I was driving in my car and consciously listening to alpha brainwave states for manifesting wealth. I'm doing this intentionally with a group in the collective because we want to hold wealth, not because we're greedy. We want to hold wealth because we love giving. Isn't that a good reason to wheel in joy, to manifest and co-create for the collective, so that I don't know, you get this and you get this, and I can help you access your dreams as well. Now, we were born to co-create. It's so fun. And as I pulled up to the studio this morning, unloading all of my sound healing equipment, I met a lady, Helen, that is a tenant in Good Space as well. And I gave her something and she said, "You give so much away." And it hit my heart that I'm on track, because sometimes we think that we don't have the resources to give. But if you have love in your heart, you'll give, and you'll give it without attachments. You'll give it without strings attached. You'll give it because it makes you feel good. You'll give it because it feels hypnotic to do it. Now in Celt, joy, or the dreamer, means vision or revelation. Are we not in this season of the revelation where the veil is thin, or the veil is being lifted, and we're remembering that we are quantum beings, that we are eternal spirits? In Latin, somnium means this, scientific fantasy. That surely links in with the matrix, in that you are co-creating out of fear, or you're co-creating out of faith. Doesn't faith bring you joy? To dream big like you did when you were a child, doesn't that feel amazing? Don't let others squash your joy. Co-create with what you're embodying. And if others are shitting on your dreams, maybe hold it in, like I mentioned the other day, to tell a few less people so that they're not sending waves against your dreams. That way you might embody it more quickly without those leaks. I want to show you that Isis held a rattle. And Isis links to Sophia, or wisdom. Wisdom stands in between the two pillars of the Masonics, actually. And surely we've lived in a season where wisdom's had nowhere to land, because everybody's been running in fear. Everybody's been running in these shitty low vibrations. We've had a whole wave of it taking over the nations. We're separated on every single level. And so Isis is another symbol of this virgin in the sky that appeared again. Virgo appeared again in 2017, and that was the year of a massive awakening, particularly for the mystics. Now, Virgo is an earth sign, and earth is birthing. Virgo is birthing, and she is crowning. And this is written about in Revelation. And I'm absolutely gobsmacked, because the minute Virgo gave birth, that was the end of my 9-month sleep fast activation that a friend heard and told me to do, and I laughed. I've told you guys about this before, but I thought, yeah, I can manage without food, but without sleep, how is this possible? And yet I did 9 months of no sleep, just 33-minute naps as Spirit guided me, but I pulled in so much. I recognized the fear of God over the fear of man. I recognized the fear of the Spirit over the fear of the beast system, which has been there since Babylon, maybe even before that. But during that season of activation, and they were light code activations, there was Soul Team throwing darts and throwing chi balls into me. I was vibrating so high that people would fall in love with me on the street. I wish that I could still be holding those energies now, and yet they're still within me, waiting to connect with the right souls that can hear the frequencies. In Isaiah 61, it says this: good news, binding up the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, to console those with whom Zion, the beauty for ashes and the oil of joy for mourning. I will give the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness. Are we swapping out joy as a frequency for the garment of heaviness? I think this is the season we're in. The numbers even speak to me. It's number 61, and my numbers are 6119. These are my birth signs. And Spirit's shown me that I'm a mystic, and I don't really care if not everybody can hear me yet. I'm lifting the frequency and the vibe. My joy is not able to be stolen. Once you see things from your higher self's perspective, you'll realize that you were born to rebuild, and that's what Isaiah finishes off with. They will rebuild the ancient ruins. They will restore desolations of many generations. And how will they do this, my friends? Well, they will do it joyfully. They will do it with Mother Wisdom. They will do it with a dove flying into them with the Christed light, a light that's not able to be put out, a light that needs to be held up in the high places. If you slow down to help the slave who is afraid of freedom, you will both get caught. You tried, now run ahead. Now, I thought today was a great day to show you some prophetic things that I heard when the fear of God stepped into my house during that season of 2017. Because just as the Virgin birthed in September, that was the end of my sleep fast. I didn't know these things, but of course my higher self did. And I heard that it was Tishri, which was the 7th month. I want you to ponder about the 777 today, and exiting the 777, linking into personal growth. We need to step up into seasons 888 and 999, and to get to 8, it requires holding abundance. The abundance of joy will give us access to the abundance of wealth, but the abundance of misery, you will be stripped of everything, including your health. And this is what Spirit was showing to me. I've been a bit shy to speak these things, because those that I spoke to in attempting to awake them, I lost most of them. But I feel Spirit saying to me, it's time now to release what I was shown in the many nights of communications of Spirit showing and speaking to me in dream state, even though I was awake. Even though I was awake. Because we're operating from spirit level, not from body density. Your inner man, if running an ego, will always sabotage you. Always. This lower density being, here in 3-dimensional, is always looking for the easy way out. Always looking to do things quickly instead of co-creating with an inner power. You have to have this swap out. And so Spirit said to me to look up through my window one morning as I was meditating, and I saw a horseman riding with a sickle in the clouds. Yes, it was a cloud. It was an actual cloud shape. Many spirits take on the shape in clouds because spirits require water. Spirits require water. You are a water being. But in this earth density, we're pulling in Mother Wisdom. And so I heard the message from the Reaper that the fields were ripe and that many would die. When the Spirit came into my house, there were so many of the soul tribe that I shook and shook and shook for fear. This is the fear of the Most High Creator, not the fear of men or the fear of men activated within the beast system that are also running with the same esoteric knowledge, and that's where it gets cleverly blurred, because those that are spiritual throw babies out with bathwater, and yet your higher self knows what's happening. And this is what was spoken to me in light code activations that made my body tremble like the old temple collapsing within me. I thought I was going to die. I called many and they told me, don't be silly, Michelle, you've seen the future. But even those ones have run away. They cannot hear me anymore. It's funny when you detach from all attachments and you link into healthy attachments just to your soul family, whether they're embodied like an Egyptian would be. We're embodied within the body. We are embalmed, or whether we are connecting with soul family that we can't see because they're in spirit density. It's all happening now. There is no time. And I heard this, many will die. And I was afraid to speak this on my socials because most people are afraid of death. If you can conquer the fear of death, Spirit's shown me, then there is nothing that can touch you. You are activated to know that you are remembering you are an eternal being. I heard that the financial systems will collapse. And are they? Yes, they are. And we need not be afraid because there are new creative waves that humanity are birthing. I heard that it was the time of the woman and that would upset many men that are running in ego state. And isn't it the men that run the religious systems using the same esoteric knowledge in order to control and manipulate, also to gather your wealth? I heard that the pillars would shake. I was shown them, the pillars, the 7 pillars of the systems, that every system will have a collapsing. And it seems scary, doesn't it, unless you have the oil of joy. But the oil of joy is your light body activation. It does operate within the third eye. And I kind of love that mine's really amplified with a scar, because it's just a temporary scar because I'm lifting the frequencies of my skin. But it will help you remember this. Everything that happens will help it sink in. We're speaking about amazing things that have never happened on earth before, I believe. I heard that it's a time to co-create, to step into your power. And so if you're not working on reprogramming your subconscious mind yet, 'tis the season to hemisync, because your strong man of your ego body is directly linked in to your subconscious mind or your programming. We must shift that into gear, put the net on the other side of the boat or the ark, and operate from right brain processing. We must be creative in this season. We must sing. We must dream, which means to sing, to make music, to rejoice. As we sing, the walls fall down. Not just your walls or those emotional guardings that you have up against others because you're afraid of being seen in your vulnerability, but the walls of your ancestors are collapsing as well. We are achieving things in the mystical realms for those ancestors that walked before us, because all we have is now. And so they're here with us now. They're just in a different dimension. You can't see them. We are the ones that our ancestors prayed for. We are the cloud of doves that the Christos light is coming into. We are the ones worthy of holding wisdom. Wisdom beyond our understandings, actually. I heard to fear the Creator, not fear the man that could kill the body but could not kill the soul, could not kill the spirit. And I witnessed many bowing to the beast system as they've done before. They bowed to the system in order to keep their shitty jobs because they were afraid of not having enough. Your body is the real Zion, the real temple. And the Spirit will flow into Zion for those that are able to hold the light codes, the mystics, the dreamers. One of my guides is Joseph. And Joseph had a dream of his family bowing to him. The sun, moon, and stars were the symbols that were given to him. And because, as a mystic, he released the prophecy, he was tormented, he was sold, he was put into a pit, he was almost killed. And even in that, Creator used that to elevate Joseph. And the prophecy came true. The family, during the season of drought, when there wasn't any food or currency, they had to come and swap their land and their livestock and bow to somebody that they no longer recognized, who had been activated, elevated, lifted up, and had become the new systematic system. This is what Spirit was showing me will happen, that there will be a major wealth transfer. I want you to hold that within you if you can hear these frequencies. I want you to become it. I want you to surrender the fear of not having enough, knowing that the divine and that Mother Wisdom, she provides for her babies. She provides for her children. You've been given wings to fly into the understandings in that you co-create with what you're holding. Let's not co-create in fear anymore. That's how we got into this mess. Those of you that are activated now, start to rebuild by embodying what you would like New Earth to look like. It's time to dream big. It's time to sing with the oil of joy, which is your Christed light. It's time to lift that joy up and release it out of your mouth. It's time to be the difference. Cut cords with the naysayers. Run ahead of them. They've had their time to be awakened. And I wanted to show you that your anointing is in your name, even with the Reaper. It's so interesting that Fauci, I was told to look up Fauci in all the debacle of what happened with the lockdown. And Fauci actually translates as Reaper. So is it all written in the stars by design, as the Virgin's birthing, that those that choose to hold fear maybe do have to cross to the promised land using death as their vehicle like Moses did? And others will be lifted up like Elijah. I'm excited for our future, and however that happens, I believe we're collapsing the walls of the old that were built to entrap us and keep us from knowing that you are a powerful light being, that you have activated light codes, that if you use them with wisdom to co-create lovingly, you will receive as you give. And so gather some joy and some momentum in giving abundantly and watch what happens. Wealth transfer is on its way. It's happening. But first, you have to eat it. Join us in the 90 days if you're interested in jumping into the Collectives program to be mentored by 3 amazing souls. I'm one of them. We will teach you everything we know, and you can change your whole life in 90 days, believe it or not. We'd love to have you there. If you'd like to reach out to myself or Rachel. We start on December 1st. I believe that next year, the Year of the Dragon, is going to be an incredible year for those mystics that have been activated. We might be just sharing the bread out. I love it. It feels fun. See you guys. Have a beautiful day and rest well.